ये दो मतलब तो है तो फिर क्या दिक्कत एक रोज गुजारा कब से नहीं चलता उसका बहुत दिनों से कई बार लिख दी है
कोई नहीं, आ जाओ, खोलना ही है। हाथ नहीं से दिल्ली। शुरू कर दूं कि अभी रुकी रहो, 5 मिनट वेट करो। एटीएफ तो नहीं हो रहा है।
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, this is Pratik from ATF.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, our next guest speaker is Mr. Pratik Madhav sir, co-founder and CEO of ASSISTIVE Foundation. He completed his graduation from Maldives National Institute of Technology Jaipur, then DCA in Computer Science from CBAC Hyderabad, Strategy and Entrepreneurship from Boston University School of Management, MBA from IIM Calcutta. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the invitation. Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Pratik, and I've been uh, invited to do talk on assistive technology. But before I probably take you through some of the thoughts which I have, I just wanted to, first of all, welcome all of you for the session, but also, given the topic, want to check with you folks, what's the expectation from the session? What would you like me to cover? I'm sure you already have had multiple sessions by so many amazing leaders before. So what's your expectation from this session? And I think if you can also give me a quick background about yourself, that will help me understand and probably talk and take you through the content which is more relevant.
इस बार करती हूँ।
Sorry, is somebody trying to speak? Uh,
हाँ। हाँ।
My request to AITD Kharagpur, when I can't see the name, is can you also tell me what sessions have you've had and what's the kind of speakers who have spoken to this group?
Like Ms. Nidhi ma'am, in the previous session, Ms. Nidhi ma'am explained about the role of assistive technology in education, Ashutosh
अरे
Tiwari.
यार लंच निकाले हो तुम?
Recent trends in assistive technology for locomotor. AI-powered assistive technology for smart rehabilitation.
Okay, that's very nice. And if I can also get a little bit of understanding of the backgrounds of people present, I think that will help me understand. I mean, I don't obviously need to tell the 101 of it is what I realize, but if you can also tell me the little bit background about the participants.
Okay, sir. Nidhi ma'am is a founder and tech CEO of Nema AI.
I know Nidhi
Ashutosh,
well. I know Nidhi well. They are part. She's a her startup is a part of our cohorts as well, our startup portfolio. But the participants in this call is whom I'm requesting to give me a background.
so all the participants are either students or the faculty members.
Okay, okay, fantastic. Um, so I thank you very much for that. See, I intend to cover a few topics, which essentially is talking about the assistive technology startup ecosystem in India and how some of these innovations, like you've heard Nidhi in the previous session, but now ATF, which is the organization represent, we work with 450 startups in India, which are startups building tech solutions for people with disability and elders. So I want to also give you a view on the kind of innovations happening, the kind of ecosystem which we have been able to in the country. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that I understand the um, expectation which you have from the session, because since you've already heard a lot of people before me. Is there anything on this topic which you'd like me to cover specifically, focus on? Please let me know. You can type it in the window as well.
Hello,
Yeah,
hello,
please.
am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead, Bindu.
Hello, good afternoon, Pratik sir. So, sir, I'm basically an electrical engineer. I'm a faculty in a AITD college, and I'm also a biomedical engineer because my PhD in biomedical engineering. So, as already one of our colleagues told us, I told you, Sanu, that we have already gone through some of the assistive devices and prosthetic devices on all this FDP session. So as we already have one or two session on this assisted devices, how we can use these assisted devices in teaching pattern for this blind people or handicapped people or the people who are lost their hearings. So my expectation from you, can you please tell us more about what kind of technologies people are using nowadays for these classes or these special students, and what kind of technologies are already used, and in which field we need to explore more. These kind of things I wanted you to explain. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Bindu. Thank you. Good to know about your background and expectation from the session. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, no problems. I'm also hoping that while I cover a few slides, you will have some questions. So I'll pause in between as we go through. Um, I'm going to be flipping between decks, multiple decks, but I'm aiming to cover not just about our organization, but also give you a glimpse on, like Bindu asked, what other technologies that exist. Yeah. But before I do that, let me just try to give you a different view of people with disabilities using technology. Let me just try to. Do I have the permission to share? Can you please give me permission to share my screen, team? It says host disable participant screen. Share. Okay, thank you very much. So tell me if you're able to see my screen okay, which says world is changing. If one of you can confirm. Hello?
Yes, sir, it is visible and it is changing.
Great. So see, some of this data is very, very well known to all of you guys. I'm not going to, drive home the point that. Sorry, can you guys mute yourself if you are not speaking? Thank you. So while all these numbers in the slide, which you guys know, that disability is such a large problem. We're talking about more than 1.1 billion people with disabilities in India. We're talking about 70 million people with disabilities. A lot of time, we have seen that we see the world of disability as more charity, sympathy. Yeah. And if you let me reintroduce these 1 billion people to you, and give a more economic view of it. These 1 billion or 1.1 billion people with disability also represent $8 trillion of disposable income, which essentially, if you see, is the third largest economic power beyond some of these greatest countries like Japan, Germany, and United Kingdom. The other way of also looking at it, we've done a survey where these 1 billion people with disabilities, if they are treated as consumers, and when consumer means if they are able to, go outside, if there's a accessible infrastructure, if the digital platforms, I'm sure all of us are buying on Amazon, on Flipkart, and Myntra, and all of these great e-commerce platforms, but a lot of these platforms are not accessible. But if we assume that all physical infrastructure and digital infrastructure is accessible, which I think it's a dream for all of us, these 1 billion people with disabilities actually represent the market size, which is in common, to put together a United States, Brazil, Pakistan, Indonesia. Essentially, what we are saying is there's one way of looking at people with disability is the large number, in India, and outside, and in the world. But we hardly look at all of them as potential consumer, as potential people who can not just contribute in the society, but also they can be a game changer if they are given jobs. They can actually um, uh, contribute in the GDP of the country. So if we have, it's not that people with disabilities are not skilled. If all these skilled people with disability are, if given a proper job, they actually can add 5 to 7% of GDP in India, which is a huge number, tens and lakhs of crores, which country is going to, gain from. Yeah. Now, when we looked at the assistive technology disability tech startup ecosystem, we said it's it's a lot of good people, but it is all fragmented. Yeah. Do you guys know how many startups today in India, not disability tech, but how many startups today in India? I'm sure some of you can Google as well, but how many registered startup in India today? Across any sector, any industry. I'm hoping at least few of you will answer. You can type as well, so no problems. I mean, if you are not able to speak, I'm happy to see the chat answers as well. How many registered startups in India? Any guesses? Not even a single person wants to guess how many registered startup in India? Okay, Anil, thank you very much. I think first one is always difficult. So Anil has, and thank you Anil for breaking the ice. Anil Pathak ji says 1 lakh. Anybody else? Sorry, AITD Kanpur says, what's this 09335? Can you help explain? I didn't understand the answer, AITD, from AITD Kanpur. It says 09335. You mean 9,335? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so Anil, you're very, very close. We have, as of last report, 101.14 lakh people with disabilities. Yep, absolutely, Prerna. Thank you very much. You're very, very close as well. So around 1.14 lakh people, startups that exist in India. But let me tell you, while we are saying India is so amazing, a vibrant startup ecosystem, in 2014, which is just 10 years from before now, we only had 400 of them. So if you think of the growth rate of startup ecosystem in India, it has gone in just 10 years, 400 to 114 thousands, 1.14 lakh startups. And believe me, majority of them, probably 50-60% of them are going to be tech startups. Yeah. Now, a lot of these tech startups is all of we use all of us use those tech startup this thing. Can you give an example of tech startups which have come in India, which we all of us use? There's a few definitely whom we can use. We use in everyday's life. I'm sure everybody use Ola and Uber. People use Zomato and Swiggy. Yes or not? They were all tech startups who grew in India and now are very large companies, isn't it? Yeah. Now, if you think why I know this session is about assistive technology and innovations, but why I'm trying to talk to you on startup ecosystem is that our lives have been transformed by tech, and the change has been led by all the tech startups. And we talked about some examples. If we tell our granddad or grandmom that somebody will come knock at your door and will deliver food, she will say, "Why? Who?" She won't believe it. My father used to take half a day chutti to go to bank. Now, if I tell my kids every other day if I'm going to bank, they're not going to understand because all of us are doing net banking, and I don't think my kids have ever seen bank, in their life. So there is a lot of transformation change by tech startup around us. But when we think about people with disabilities, we are thinking about very traditional tech. And I'm sure all of you professionals, students, professors who are present in this call are aware of a lot of assistive technology which has been developed by I mean, especially in India, it's been driven by nonprofits. A lot of that tech has helped tremendously, but a lot of that tech isn't helping now. Uh, and I'll give you a parallel example that if now I give all of you a TV which only has two channels, DD1, DD2, you're gonna hit me hard because now all of us are habituated to use Netflix and Amazon Prime and whatnot, isn't it? So we are all very habituated to watch content at real time, almost real time. You imagine a movie, you're able to access that movie if you're subscribed to this platform. But when we think about people with disability, we are still stuck in those era of 14th century, give them older devices. And that's where we believe what I want to share with you that is not true anymore. Hmm? We we have tremendous innovations happening in the country, and let me just give you a some ideas about it. In assistive technology. But while I try to show you the presentation again, I'm just going to take a pause to see if you guys have any comments and questions. Does it everything which I've spoken now, does that make sense to all of you?
हिमांशु बैठी हूँ फोन आया था अभी
Yes, can you mute yourself if you're not speaking? That will help. Thank you. Does it relate? I mean, are you able to relate the before and after of technology? I'm sure some of us have lived in an era where Zomato, Swiggy, Ola, Uber did not exist, but today they have made our life simple and convenient as well in some ways. So, anyways, I think I just want to go ahead and finish the session and share with you what innovations are happening. But I'm happy to take your questions, comments on the chat, or in between if you have one. We created ATF, which is Bangalore-based Section 8 nonprofit company with a vision of empowering people with disabilities through technology. The way we work is for A's, so acceleration, availability, awareness, and associations. In acceleration program, we work with around 450 startups in assistive technology as we speak. We run a cohort-based startup batches. So we have 5 completed, 6th coming in. Our 5 cohort-based startups are 42 in number. They have 43 patents. They cover all major disabilities, and we also have 100 plus products. This is the slide, which is a busy slide, but these are all the tech startups in disability whom we work across India. There are 42 of them who are in our portfolio. We also co-founded a global network because essentially technology is beyond boundaries. And if you think of innovations happening in assistive technology outside India, we should ignore, we should embrace some of the tech which is being developed in Western and other countries as well. And hence we have co-founded a network called Plus N. I'm referring to ATF, and I don't know if some of you joined a little later. ATF is a state foundation which was established by me and 4 others who came from industry 6-7 years back. So ATF, we also co-founded a global network of Plusen, where we now partner with Australia, New Zealand, Kenya, Canada, Hong Kong, China, And we have 4 more countries joining this alliance in next few months. So we have US, Europe, UK, we have Austria joining as well. And there is a lot of innovations happening in Israel as well. We are building a digital platform called Aditwara, which essentially is a marketplace. So think of Amazon for people with disabilities, where they get access to learning, livelihood, living opportunities, of for any kind of disabilities across India. So that's something we're happy to, share with you folks once it's ready. We're already partnering with Government of Karnataka. We're partnering with companies like Microsoft. Infosys has offered their content for learning content to us free. So there is a lot of action in building the digital platform, as we speak. We do something called ATF Awards, which essentially is a recognition to startups and enablers. We have done it for 3 years now, and last year we did it in Bangalore Tech Summit in Karnataka. Year before last, we had done it in IIT Madras Research Park. Yeah, that's our ecosystem where we go work with government. So I'm a part of the committee at Nidhi Aayog, where we are writing the strategic framework for assistive technology innovations and startup. We work with governments very closely. We have helped design the whole startup policy around assistive technology for Government of Tamil Nadu. We work very closely with Government of Telangana and multiple other fronts. And you anyway see a lot of names and institutions in the slide. As we speak, we're talking about learning, livelihood, living as themes, which we are able to touch. Lives of people with disabilities. We have in the organization board and the friends from the industry. So they are the people who coming from education institutions like IIM Bangalore, investment companies, venture capitals. We have a lot of corporates. So Microsoft, India, whom we partner with. There are a lot of non-profits whom we partner with as well. So there is a handsome mix of a lot of senior folks from the industry, but also a lot of people with disabilities. The gentleman whom you see in the middle, I don't know, some of you might recognize Shekhar. He was a captain of Indian blind cricket team who got us 3 World Cups. He was given a Pidam Shri Award. So Shekhar is a part of our advisory as well. Okay, let me take a pause to see if you guys have any questions about ATF, and then what I want to do is to give you my view on what's the future of tech in assistive technology. While I know all of us have seen the traditional tech. Any questions, comments? I know it could be a post-lunch session syndrome as well. It's not very easy to attend sessions online after you've just had lunch. So, but I'm hoping I would get some response and questions from at least some of you, if not now, but in between and by end of it. So let me just give you a little more understanding of why we are excited about the whole tech startup ecosystem in India and outside. By the way, a lot of time we also have seen when we talk about assistive technology, newer markets, it's a huge opportunity from a business end as well. I mean, I'm sure all of you or most of you would know the WHO says that we need 2 billion assistive technology by 2030, and only 5 to 10% people have it. So if that's the requirement, that's the need, then who's going to solve it? Who's going to provide that tech to people, and what's the business reason of people coming in and serving this market? Yeah. Okay. So I think there are going to be 5 trends in assistive technology, which I believe is the future of tech. Um, First, I think it's going to be blitz scaling. If you, some of you or most of you, you would read or you would use LinkedIn as a networking platform. And if you know more about LinkedIn as a company, their founder, Reid Hoffman, who's pretty active investor in many sectors today, wrote a book called Blitzscale. So this word, I have borrowed it from Reid Hoffman, and blitzscaling is about how do you combine speed and scale what in assistive technology. Essentially, if you are able to partner with different organizations, if you are able to partner with startups, government, and many other stakeholders, then each of us bring in our capability, each of us bring that set of resources we've generated, and we are able to really create a ecosystem and assistive technology which is multi-dimensional partnership. And that's the only way I think we'll be able to probably even think of building 2 billion assistive technology devices by 2030. Believe me, we have only very, very less time left, before we hit 2030. Yeah. So that's the first and second trend I want to tell you is the element of co-creation. What's happening in the world of assistive technology today is, and let me just also give you example as I also talk about co-creation is, we are seeing educational institution like yourself, IT Madras, VIT Vellore, all of them are coming together. We also have partners in UK, Global Disability Innovation Hub, and all of them are coming together to create newer innovations. So think of how would you involve and develop a technology in artificial intelligence to help kids who are in the autism spectrum learn better. Have you thought of use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in disability inclusion? Any examples you have seen? Any experiences you guys had? As it, I know Nidhi covered use of AI, but apart from Nema AI, have you guys seen other examples of AI, artificial intelligence in disability inclusion? Okay, no problems. I can give you a few examples of what we're talking about in terms of using the latest tech. Share my screen again. This is a startup called Synchron, which is helping people with neurological disabilities. If you've heard of brain-computer interface, BCI, that's the technology it is being applied to develop Synchron tech. And that essentially is about uh, people who cannot move their body. They can just think, or even can do eye tracking. The technology is able to capture what's going on in your mind and act on it. And so imagine while you sit and you're thinking, oh, it's evening, light should be this room, light should be on. And the tech is able to read your brain waves and thoughts and able to switch on the light. Now, I know some of you are thinking, why people with disability, I would want to have this technology implemented in my home. But jokes about how useful it is, that technology where people are thinking and that action is being taken. That really is a combination of very advanced tech and a lot of research is going on in the brain-computer interface, to implement such techs. Yeah. Yeah, again, there are smart home solutions, which is you would have heard of Internet of Things, IoT, which are being again remotely controlled. We also have seen, I think in India, in elderly care or disability care, where we have the wearables coming in. I don't know if you have an example here of wearable, but essentially there are a lot of wearables coming in where people with disabilities, we are able to actually put those variables in them, and we're able to remotely monitor a lot of parameters in terms of health, in terms of whether they're safe or not, and stuff like that. Again, I'm going back to the trend too, which I was sharing with you. I think it's the power of co-creation. No one organization is able to do all this magic and build this technology as we speak. And we have to, as organization, as individuals, as professors, as students, need to partner together. Innovation DNA, I mean, I think it goes without saying that in assistive technology, if we have to, make progress, then we need to have that innovation, and collaboration going on. We at ATF partner very closely with organizations like Microsoft, and what we are talking to them is that while they innovate for their clients, or all of us are clients as well, Microsoft, they also have to have responsible innovation going, which essentially means I don't know if you know, how many of you know, there is an app which Microsoft have built called Seeing AI. Have you experienced or seen AI, Seeing AI, which is my Microsoft? Any of you? Please go ahead. My question is, have any of you seen or experienced Seeing AI, which is Microsoft? If not, I would urge you to look at it. I mean, it's a brilliant app for people with visual impairment. Essentially, an app which will help in the object detection. So anything in front of you, if there's a water bottle in front of you, and if you're using Seeing AI, it'll tell you there's a bottle, there's a person sitting in a blue T-shirt, about an age is 40 or whatever, all that. Huh? So it's a pretty cool app. Kind of distance. Sorry, if you're not speaking on the or in the call, can you please mute yourself? I think
AFC code
Dr. Singh, if you do you have a question for me?
link with my
Dr. DP Singh? Dr. DP Singh, do you have a question for me? Okay, probably not. Okay, so I think the second last trend which I want to share with you is end of distance beyond boundaries, and that's where I was talking about the whole remote monitoring. We are talking to you about wearable devices. I'm sure all of you or most of you will have smart watches, which is tracking your number of steps, calories, sleeping patterns, and I'm sure whatnot. But lot of those wearable devices also are able to track a lot of important factors for people with disabilities as well. And I believe that a lot of these technologies, we work with, like I said, 450 startups in assistive technology in India. And I can tell you, we are very excited that some of the solutions which we are building in India are global solutions. In fact, you probably would know Avaz as a startup, which is based in Chennai. They have built pretty cool solution about, let me just show it to you. I think I have Invention Labs Avaz. It's in the field of intellectual disability, autism, where they built this whole communication app in the AAC segment. And they are actually not just helping kids in the spectrum in India, but they are actually present globally in 50 countries today. Yeah. Uh, I think I was an example of global, as we call it, think global, serve local, and there's a lot of thought of make in India, make for the world. Last but not the least, and I know I was told that a lot of students in this call as well, you're also seeing that there are a lot of millennials, young people coming in and contributing in assistive technology. In fact, I can tell you whenever we look out for startup in assistive technology and they apply to ATF's program, we have seen so many young people, students coming from IITs, coming from IIMs who are building solutions. So we are very, very fortunate. We are very, very excited that a lot of young people are building tech solutions for people with disability as well. So I think when we
वालन कहते गए थे ना ये पीडियाट्रिक है बच्चा हाँ बच्चन को डॉक्टर हाँ
Mr. Narendra
हम
Kumar
कहते पहले
Rajput,
मुंह से कहो तो किया बात
Mr. Narendra Kumar Rajput, are you talking to me and the people? Probably not. Okay, I think I'm just going to end. Uh, I believe that while we have been taking some of these solutions, technologies beyond boundaries, this and next year, next few years is going to be about human technology. We have seen a lot of AI solutions, chat GPT, all that coming in, but that can never replace humans, at least in the world of disability tech. While we have a lot of early detection, early intervention solutions in neurodiversity, neurodevelopment area, you can never replace special educators. They'll always be required, and hence we think it's always going to be human plus technology. This and next years. Thank you very much for your time. I hope whatever I shared made sense to you, but I'm open to questions, comments, if you have any.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the invite. Any questions, comments, perspectives?
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead. Nidhi.
Sir, I have only one question. Like you have shown us in your third or fourth slide that you have lots of collaboration with industry, education centers, and health centers. So my question is, what kind of assistance you are providing to educational institute? Like if you want to collaborate with you, so what kind of services you will provide your company?
Right. No, thank you. No, so I'll give you a few examples of what we have done, and I'm also putting my details in the chat, so that's something which if you want to write to me. I'll also give you website of ATF before I forget. See, we have collaborations with multiple institutions. We work closely with IIT Madras Research Park, where we have helped them think about how to promote innovations and incubate assistive technology student ideas. Yeah, assistive technology focused student ideas. So that's one which we have provided help in terms of thinking through the program. There is a lot of research papers which they get, and we have helped them review some of those research papers as well. Have you heard of Empower as a conference that is done in some of the educational institution?
No, I have not heard.
Have anybody of you heard about Empower conference? I'll post the link as I'm talking to you. Empower is a conference that happens every year, hosted by one or the other education institution. Until last year, it was being hosted by IIT Madras. This year, you heard of National Institute of Speech and Hear Impaired, NISH, in Kerala. I put the link of that whole conference, in the chat. that's primarily run by educational institutions for many years. Earlier, IIT Delhi used to run it. Then IIIT Bangalore had run it for 2 years. After that, IIT Madras Research Park, and this year, Nish Kerala is hosting it. And we have helped empower. I mean, I was part of the program committee, but we also have helped them get a lot more student papers, research papers, done. We have always taken our startups during these conferences to help student, faculty, and a lot of people who are interested in assistive technology space to look at and the solutions, who are innovative, and these are the startups who are changing the world of people with disabilities. So that's another area where we have helped educational institutions. We partner with multiple education institutions who have incubators, and we some of those startups who they are helping. We help them mentor in terms of disability, business, technology, and access to the market as well.
Okay, so your company is also providing some sort of training or research area or research labs for working students?
Yeah, so we are, I mean, we don't provide trainings, but we help the institutions put together that whole framework of training. And through that, they are able to incubate and promote a lot of startup student innovation there.
Okay, thank you. No
Which
question from my
institute do you
side.
belong to, Bindu? Where do you?
I'm from AITD only, sir. I'm from this institute.
We're also talking to multiple corporates and Ministry of Social Justice to organize a artificial intelligence based hackathon for disability inclusion. So hopefully that hackathon, once it opens up, will invite AI based ideas to solve problems of people with disability, and we are working to shortlist some of the problem statements or the use cases for that hackathon as well. So once it comes up, I will send it to AITD, and if you find it interesting, please circulate among all the members and people present here.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if you do not have any more questions, thank you very much for the patient listening. Good luck to all of you. It's a pleasure meeting all of you guys, and thank you to AITD for inviting. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time.